All right, guys, nice and quick. Quick little break. Hopefully you guys were able to get a drink, that kind of thing. All right, let's talk about the JPN controlled drama stuff. What are you laughing about? What the fuck?
I don't.
Anyways, so let's talk a little bit about this. It's not really StarCraft 2 related, but it was, it's kind of a big thing, I guess, in our StarCraft subreddit. But
Can I bring up one quick thing real fast?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. The so Railcon did like a speed run.
Yes. All right. Okay, sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to bring this up. Like, I didn't know anything about it. So there was like a girl there.
Yeah.
On a beanbag, and I didn't watch very much, but oh my fucking god! If you look at this thread, people were so fucking mad about this girl. Like.
All right. Let's see this thread.
Oh my god, people were just so bad or so mad about this.
I was actually watching it, but I didn't have the. I just kind of was watching it in the background. I didn't have the volume on. Let me see.
Yeah. So regardless, like apparently, and then I was reading a different thread, and somebody linked a time where she told a story on stream, and I guess like in the middle of this guy's speed run. She's just like, I'm gonna use this opportunity to tell a story. Like I'm knitting. Yeah. Wait, what did I say? What?
What?
Oh, never mind. Sorry. So in the middle of this guy's speed run, what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Man.
In the middle of this guy's speed run, she just starts telling a story about how like I guess her grandma and her grandpa or like her dad, like on one side of her family, they died of cancer. She's like, there's pretty much a 50% chance that I'm gonna die of cancer. And then she just started crying in like the middle of the speedrun, like in the audience, and that's like the most fucking awkward thing I've. I don't know. It was just so painfully fucking awkward.
What girl?
Holy shit!
Dude, I need to see this VOD.
Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, show the stream. Hold on. It's here. Go to 429. Go to 429.29. Show your stream.
Wait. Where's the actual VOD? Shit, I'm on the
right
subreddit.
Here. Go to this fucking video right here, man.
Okay, here we go. Okay, 429.29. All right.
Because I think I've seen this girl before, maybe.
Really?
Never heard of her.
Yeah. She's been at IPL events and stuff, I think.
Okay, show your stream this video.
Hold on. 429.
Yeah,
429.29.
yeah, I've seen the girl.
Apparently this happened last year.
So it happened last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, this girl I just think is not very socially inept, basically. It's the bottom line of this. Because I've met her a few times and she's just, I mean, she's nice and everything, but she's definitely awkward in the like standard nerdy geeky way that a lot of people are in esports.
Sure.
So
Wait, so she was in the audience here? Hold on, it's like.
Yeah, are you playing it? Wait,
I'm playing it, but I'm like at 429.10 here.
429.20. Okay, you gotta play for the stream. Okay, we'll be quiet. Okay.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, we're quiet.
All right, here we go.
$32 from Brian Cassidy. Incredible blindfolded door of time skip. Here's some more money. Put this donation towards Final Fantasy Adventure as the best Final Fantasy.
So this will probably be my last chance to tell a story really quick. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been knitting the entire time I've been here. And I actually learned how to knit from my grandmother. Can you talk? She died of cancer a couple years ago. And there's actually pretty much a 50% chance I'm gonna die of cancer. My dad's entire side of his family has died of cancer pretty much. And their mom
Look at all the guys. The guys are just like, don't know what to do.
So pretty much, this blue is the last blue of my grandmother's that I'm ever gonna have to knit with. So it's
Alright. Did you get through it? I like how she asks the speedrunner to stop. She like leans over, she's like, "Can you stop?" Just like keeps playing.
Okay, is that it?
I also
Oh
like
my
how she
God.
brought it up
Okay,
with no
okay.
prompting. She was like, "So, just so you guys know, I've been knitting the entire." Oh man. Anyway, I'm sorry. That was completely relevant to everything. Sorry, go on.
Okay.
yeah, I just think she's a little awkward and off. I don't know.
Okay. That's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting is a good word for that.
Hopefully you guys caught some of the speedruns. This has been some amazing speedruns the last few nights. The StarCraft 2 one was last night, I believe, with Raccoon, right? Did you guys watch it? I think they did it under 3. I think which was amazing on Brutal. Pretty awesome. But moving on to some role play drama here. JP in control. A little bit of craziness between these two guys, and these two guys are obviously have been big names in our community, so I think that's why it kind of made some splash in our StarCraft subreddit. But didn't really want to get into the exact reasons that they were kind of bickering, fighting over, but more so, I guess it has to do with just, I guess when you're a public figure and when you have disputes, I guess the best way to handle it, right? Because I think both of them are agreeing that they should have probably handled it privately. But I don't know. I kind of want to get your thoughts on just how, like, what you guys thought of just what went on, just with actually canceling half of the show. Just having that all happen kind of live on the show, and then having In Control kind of post about it. Steven, what are your thoughts on all this?
I don't think it was a big deal. It just turned into something really dumb. JP acted kind of silly. In Control got really emotional, and then he acted kind of silly with his post, but I mean, they all made up, and it's good now. So hopefully they've moved past that.
Yeah, Huck, anything?
Not really. They handled it very poorly. I think they both just got mad and didn't want to message each other. So, yeah.
Yeah.
JP removed them, and Control got mad, started tweeting, then blogged, and then JP was like, "Oh wow, you were hurt that much? Okay, let's talk about this." And then they hugged, and everything was fine. It was pretty stupid.
Oh, I know, Steven. If I kicked your ass off, I'd never take you back, dude. That's
fuck you,
just
bro.
it, man. That's all I'm saying.
I'll remember that.
All right, moving on. Maximus Black came out with an article, which I think is pretty good. I think we've talked about it a little bit on the show in the past, but I figured it'd be good to talk about it with Huck here, being that the whole article was really about the differences between, I guess, more the personality entertaining kind of streams and then just the straight up pro player streams where it's just all about watching the high level play, and just, I guess, what the stream numbers have been like recently. And Maximus is kind of, explaining his point of view on why the current state of things are the way they are. And let me show you the article real quick so you guys can read up on it too. But Huck and so Steven and Huck, what do you guys think of this? Given that Steven, I think you're more on the personality side of this, and then Huck, you're more on the pro side.
Wow, real?
I'm just being true. You're just being honest here. Being honest, even though you're trying to get that pro side of you back in there. But
fuck you. He says pretty much everything I've said for the past couple of years. No,
yeah,
was there anything unique or different, or not to shut on his post? I mean, it was a good post, but the one thing that he touched on that I agree that but it's really fucking hard to do is that you have to be really proactive in managing your own image, and you have to be careful not to give it completely to a team. In my opinion, a lot of players seem really content to never leverage their own image for anything good for themselves publicly, but instead they just rely on their team and winning. And I feel like there are a lot of people that could be way more successful if they managed their image more and tried to profit from that more. I think that when Idra was at his height, I think that Idra could have been making a fuck ton more money if he would have leveraged his image better. People like MC could be making way, way, way more money than whatever the fuck he's making now if he would leverage his image better.
You really think Greg could have made a lot more than he already made? Because Greg's not the most entertaining guy in the world. You know what I mean? He's a nice guy, and he's not the most. He's not like you, crazy.
I think that Greg is exactly like Chad. Idra is exactly like Minigun, where on their own they're pretty, have their moments. But if you've ever seen Minigun, I guess to be arrogant, Minigun paired with me, usually Minigun will be a lot more exciting, right? He starts talking a lot more shit, he does shit like that. In my personal experience, when Idra is with other people, there are periods of times where he'll just say something that's really fucking funny, but he has to be paired with that person that kind of gets that out of him, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You would yeah. So while Idra might not be the most hilarious person to watch alone, I have him in the same vein as Chad, to where if he's paired with the right person, there's a lot of really funny, potentially hilarious stuff that comes out. One of the big problems though is that when people are at like the apex of their career, especially with Idra on EG, I doubt that he was ever thinking of how can I make more money, because I'm sure he was really happy with what he was getting paid on EG. But you have to admit that like when Idra was pulling 7,000-8,000 viewers on streaming, that there's probably a lot more that he could have did to push himself personally, rather than just banking the Twitch ad revenue and going home with it.
Huck, what are your thoughts on, I guess, that statement, or just what are your thoughts on the whole thing, and then maybe that statement about Idra?
I agree. Idra's a lot funnier when you put him with like I've seen him with Jeff. He's pretty funny with me if he's like he likes to smack talk me even if he's cast my games in a very lovingly way. He's pretty funny. He's just you put him with any Protoss player that's cheesy, he'll make pretty funny jokes. He's a really good commentator, and I wish actually more tournaments would hire him because he's a really really good commentator. And I'm all about pro players being commentators after they're done, because commentators, to be honest, suck.
Oh boy. All
so
right.
there you go. And yeah, I mean, I just started streaming recently within this last week, and I've had a very big stream hiatus for almost like maybe 2 years or something consistently. And I used to pull in, like, I remember I streamed one day at the Slayer's house eating pizza, and I got like 13K viewers. And of course StarCraft 2 is doing better than 2, but now I'm getting like 500 to 900 on average, which is considerably lower than Destiny or Maximus Black or whatever. And it's sad to see, obviously, because I'm on the bad side of it now compared to before. But
is it worth streaming when you're only getting that much?
Well, yeah, you're not making as much. It's not, I do it because I'm going to be playing anyways, so it's fun and it's easier to practice for me. If I have people watching, it gives me motivation to play. But the consistent streamers like Destiny or Miss Spite or Maximus Black, whatever, Desro.
Destiny or Maximus Black. Miss Spite is in a really unique lucky situation. Fuck all of you.
Okay. Anyway,
she gets dude.
Wow.
That
she
front
gets
page.
viewers though.
She
she
streams
gets
consistently though.
But it's the being front paged on Twitch nets you a fuck ton of like viewers that will bounce around.
Well,
how
is that done anyways? Is it like one person?
I have
deciding?
no fucking idea, dude.
I think it's like it's a group of people, under 5 people probably, that if you know them or you're in the right place or the right team, they're gonna put you up there. Cause it's definitely playing favorites, obviously, their front page of Twitch.
Yeah.
There's definitely bias. Anyways, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can finish.
Okay. Anyways, the biggest thing is that all these people have streamed pretty consistently, so they've definitely worked for it, and getting subs and donations and stuff is a pretty steady income. So I'm not jealous or anything, or feel bad about me getting worse viewers now, but you just got to work for it. But it's definitely the way to be, because there's people like Kriparian and all these all these big streamers that use like actively switch games, even Destiny to some extent, that are gonna be making more steady income than I say with pro players, because games are gonna come and go. Like a lot of StarCraft 2 pros aren't getting good viewers, and then when StarCraft 2 continually dies, any game is going to continually die. League of Legends is going to continually die. Dota 2 eventually will die. If you're just a personality, you could be doing this possibly for the next 10, 15 years. And as time goes on, you're just going to continue building your fan base, and you can just keep going from game to game to game. And of course, everybody's going to want to see, when the new Blizzard MOBA comes out, even if it's pretty shitty, when it first comes out, that's where the viewers are going to go. Same thing with Hearthstone or, whatever else, the newest game. So,
yeah, so
Destiny.
I mean, so go ahead.
Okay, wait, am I lagging? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry, my thing was lagging for a sec. Okay, so there are 3 types of viewers, right? I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before. You have any particular person has 3 types of viewers, okay? The first type is your core audience. These are people that will watch you literally no matter what the fuck you do. Everybody has these, okay? For me, that number is about 1,500 to 2,000, right? That's where I can turn my stream on and I'll eat pizza or play with my dog or play a random fucking whatever the fuck I'm doing. I'll always get those like 1,500 to 2,000 people, right? That core group will always be there. The second group of people are people that watch you plus a certain game you play. So for me, that game is usually StarCraft 2. There are people that will, if I'm on playing StarCraft 2, they will come and watch me, right? So for that, my number seems to be anywhere from 35 to 55-ish right now, right? 3,500 to 5,500. Where if I'm streaming and I'm streaming StarCraft 2, I'll always have that many viewers. My 2,000 plus the extra 1,500 to 2,500 people that will come and watch, or 1,500 to 3,500 people on top of that will come and watch, right? And then the third number, and this is the most important number to some extent. Well, every number is important for different reasons, but the third number are viewers that are floating around between streams that will stop and watch your stream if something catches their eye or something exciting or some event is happening. The reason why that number is so important is because that number gives you an opportunity to convert some of those people into one of the earlier two groups, right? Somebody who's floating around will turn your stream on and they'll like it, and they'll either like it so much that they will become a core viewer if you're doing something that's really funny or really cool, something they really like, or they'll watch it enough that they'll put you on their list where, like, anytime they see you playing StarCraft, they'll always go and watch you, you know? So the reason why I brought up Miss Spite, and I didn't bring up Miss Spite to shit on her or anything, or to BM her or whatever, because, I mean, I don't get anything out of that. I mean, I guess it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But regardless, the reason why I bring up Miss Spite is because the problem with streaming inside the StarCraft 2 community, and not to shit talk, not dead gamer, blah, 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 but the community of stream viewers is really stagnant, right? Nobody that watches League of Legends or Dota 2 or anything like that is going to click twitch.tv and go to, you know, StarCraft 2. I wonder what StarCraft 2 game's going to watch. Like, it just doesn't happen. And Team Liquid isn't the massive viewer hub for streams anymore that it used to be, right? So the problem with that is that that third group of people, the wandering mass of people looking for something to watch in StarCraft 2, is very difficult to get, right? It's hard to get those people to just come in and watch me for a little bit, and maybe you'll like it and stick around. The nice thing about what Miss Spite has set up, showing up on the front page, is that anytime you're on the front page of Twitch, you have the opportunity to reach out to that third group and convert them into either a loyal viewer or somebody that will at least watch you when you play StarCraft. And having the ability to reach out to that audience is a really, really, really invaluable thing. Like, something like, I would pay money for the opportunity to do that, because the worst case scenario is you can be stuck streaming StarCraft 2 now for a long time, and you'll never pick up any more viewers than what you get when you turn on your stream, because there aren't new people just coming in to watch streams, you know?
I 100% agree. That is...
Yeah.
So the question is, how is Miss Spike getting to the front page, and whose dick do I have to suck to get there too?
I mean, I've heard different stories. I've heard different people at... Whoa, oh wait, first of all,
okay, so let's clear this up. Let's clear this up, okay? Like, she never asked... Okay,
I wasn't saying Miss Spite did.
Okay, alright, because she never asked for it. Somebody actually approached her about front page, so I'm just going to clear that up for everybody.
I mean, that's more or less what I've heard. You kind of have to... Twitch will approach you about it. So whether it's you have to be friends with the right guys at Twitch, or... Because I think actually... I think cats might even get on the front page of Twitch sometimes.
Yeah, I mean...
Could find that, but I know that Miss Spite is scheduled to be on the front page every time. But, like, you can see a massive difference in her viewership between when she's on that front page and when she's not on that front page, right? Which, in some ways, you could get angry that, wow, like, she only has 4,000 viewers when she's on the front page, and as soon as she drops off, it goes down to, like, 1,000. Like, that's bullshit. But in other ways, you can look at it and go, like, wow, like, there is an opportunity still to capture new viewers out there. You just have to get your stream outside of the stagnating, you know, StarCraft 2 circle of viewership and try to inject it into new areas to pick up viewers, such as the Twitch front page, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many people that they can put on the front page, the way it currently is, right? And there are a lot of games that are shown on Twitch right now, so, you know, there are a few lucky StarCraft 2 people, but at least StarCraft 2 is making it on the front page from time to time and getting some new folks to look at it. But in regards to just the whole comment about streamers and pros, you know, I started streaming a little bit recently, just super late at night with Hearthstone, just to kind of learn some things, I guess, kind of really learn the space and just not really an experiment, but just a little bit more than an experiment. And the thing that I've noticed is that streaming is its own like separate element than playing, you know, being a pro and that sort of thing. You know, like, because I think a lot of pros, Huck, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, they just kind of think streaming is just this thing that I can do while I'm practicing, and not really thinking of it as trying to foster an entertaining channel.
I would agree with that, and I obviously think it's a mistake, because I feel like if you're going to be a player, one of the most consistent ways to make money is streaming. But I agree with you, and at the highest level, like we talk about pro gaming at the highest level, in the same way streaming at the highest level, there's competitions. There's like certain Hearthstone streamers that will go after other Hearthstone streamers. Like if a popular streamer always streams, let's say like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time, and then they miss a day, other Hearthstone streamers that are big streamers will go after that block of time, because there will be viewers that will turn on waiting to expect their favorite person to be streaming, see they're not on, click someone else, and they can steal viewers like that. So it's a very competitive thing, even just streaming at the highest level.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of little tricks like that, actually. If any time that you think, if you're trying to grow your stream and you know that there's a guy that always cuts a stream at like 4 or 5 o'clock, it's really good to start like a couple hours earlier than that, just so you can start to build up numbers, because as soon as their stream cuts off, maybe half those people will be looking around for like, what's the next, most popular stream. And you can watch it. You can go watch League of Legends streams, Dota streams, wait for a big stream to cut off, refresh the page, and you'll see that those 20,000 viewers left, all the other streams will be bumped in viewer numbers, with most of them going to the next most popular stream.
Exactly. The second place guy is it's the most obvious in Hearthstone right now. If you guys pay attention to any of the Hearthstone streams, because Crip and Trump, they are just way above everybody, and when they leave, it's like the second place people, like I don't know, like Masan or Afu at the time or whatever, will just get like giant bumps. So that's just how viewership is. They just go after people want to watch what's popular or what everybody else is watching, and that's kind of how it works. But yeah, I mean, is it possible for you guys to actually foster a channel, Huck? I mean, given that you guys spend so much time practicing it, and it's something that I've always talked to players, especially players that are trying to make a name for themselves, and they always ask whether they should stream or not, and I always tell them, it's like, if you're going to stream, you have to put time into streaming, and I don't know if you have that time, given that the practice takes so much, and I don't even think you guys have enough time to practice right now.
I definitely think it's doable. I know for myself, it helps me practice motivation-wise, just to stream and stuff, and it helps me give goals to work towards, and I hate losing that much more when someone's watching, where if someone isn't watching, I can slack off, lose a game, and not give a shit as much. Because no one will see it anyways. The only time I feel you need to do like you got a card to practice where no one can see you is when you have like a specific match, like you play X player on Y date, so you want to do a specific build or something. But I definitely feel like StarCraft 2 players can stream and build up their sub base or their fan base through that. And God forbid a foreigner wins a tournament, if they start streaming, they'll get really good viewers and they'll get a lot of subs or donations.
Yeah, but that just a lot of that statement, and I think a lot of people have said that for a long time. But I think it oversimplifies actually what the streaming side of it, because like what Steven does and what Desro does, and even some of the other guys that you mentioned, like Crip and those guys, Crip not so much actually. Crip is in a weird place. But a lot of these guys, they do sub only events, right? They do giveaways. They give, they have special events for the subscribers, and even schedules, and stuff like that.
Pros can do that though too. I mean, not like extremely in depth, but they can definitely do like sub day or like arcade day, or like do like even 1 hour of a free lesson. Like God forbid if Scarlett said like, I'll coach a random person that subs for 1 hour, once a week, she'll probably get a lot of subscribers just because it's Scarlett. And it's not going to take away that much. Obviously, you can't do it as much as other, people that are just streamers or just personalities, but you can still do it to some degree, because even pro gamers need to, take breaks and, take time off from time to time.
Yeah, the whole formula of having to win a tournament before you get, to get a lot of stream viewers is, I think, somewhat of a thing of the past now. I think it takes more. I mean, a lot of these streams are more entertaining, and it's going to take more than, I think, just winning. Scarlett's, she can seriously just stream and say nothing, and she'll get 10,000 people right now. But I don't think that's the norm by any means. And in some ways,
how many viewers does Nanoa get when he streams?
Like 8, really, something like that.
Nah, I don't. I think if Nanoa streamed, like if he was streaming right now, he'd probably have like 3.
3?
Maybe 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, especially if they're streaming consistent. If it's one of those things that are pretty rare, then you're going to have a spike, a pretty high number too.
I definitely feel that's the case for Scarlet and Nanoa. Like Jaedong used to have that novelty factor, but he's kind of dropped off too at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a perfect example of kind of what Steven said in the past. Jadon doesn't say a word.
Yeah, he doesn't have a cam.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
he still gets
what do
good
you want?
viewers.
I know, but yeah.
Well,
Those
if you're
days,
doing if you're doing like Maximus Black, where you're dangling balls from your crotch area and putting names in boxes and that kind of stuff. I mean, like, can you imagine Idra doing that? Like, all of a sudden he turns on his stream and he's just doing that shit. He'll get good viewers. It just depends at how far you want to take that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so
Can you
Steven,
imagine MC doing a stream like Maximus Black or something where he's like BMing people that he plays on like NA ladder? MC doing that? You have any idea how fucking popular that stream would be?
Yeah, it would do really good. I just, pro players don't. I think most pros don't understand that aspect. They just want to be competitors, and they just want to win tournaments, and they don't see that side of it. So.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, a better example is just imagine Dragon was like a high-level Korean player.
That's actually a really good example.
Yeah,
well, he wasn't that high level, but he definitely made the right business choice doing what he does now compared to what he was doing before.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He is one funny dude. Steven, I have a question for you too. In regards to ad revenue, and I don't know if you can share this or not, but just generally speaking, do you feel like you make more from ad revenue from Twitch, or just ad revenue generally speaking, or from subs/donations?
I definitely make more from subscriptions.
Okay, and that's, I mean, the reason I brought that up is because I think that's one of the trends, or one of the things I have noticed in this kind of like experiment that I've been doing recently, and that kind of leads more towards, again, developing your channel in some ways is more important than the viewership anyways, right? Because the subscribers are all recurring payments, right? And residual income versus these ad revenue, this ad revenue, which is dependent upon fill rates and stuff like that, right? Like right now, I think ad revenue is terrible, right?
Ad revenue is always shitty in January.
Yeah,
anyways.
it's terrible right
I mean,
now.
it's always shitty. Here's a picture. Holy shit, fucks.
Oh god, what is this? Oh god.
That's not safe. That's not safe for life. Oh shit.
God, let me see this. The fuck is this? Damn it.
I don't know if I'm like on the bad boy list or.
No. You don't want to see mine. Trust me.
I don't. Yeah,
You
I
don't
know.
wanna see
I always
mine.
get I always get depressed when those lists come out of the viewer robbers, not because of what I make, but because I have to I can.
Wait, you want me to show
extrapolate
this on?
things about
You want me to show this?
No.
I linked it in chat.
I don't
care,
think
it's fine.
no. I
Okay.
don't think you can. I don't think you can show this Twitch page. I think they give
Oh,
you
whoops.
major shit for this. So.
Okay, I
I
will
mean,
not show
I'm
this.
not-
I will not
I've
show
Never
this.
got in trouble for
I
it
will not
before,
show
and
this then.
I'm- my
Oh, really?
contract, so whatever. I linked it in chat. I'm sorry. Don't look at that, everybody. But yeah, I think the Twitch ad revenue is really low right now.
The only month that I know it's consistently good would be December.
December.
Because that's where
Yeah.
a lot of companies dump their end year extra shit.
Yeah, really
Thanks so
bad in
much.
January. That's like pretty normal every year. But anyways, my point was, you're gonna make, if you're a player, especially a player that's trying to decide whether to try to use their time to try to win prize money, get better that way, or use their time and trying to just making any kind of income. It's definitely something to know that subscriptions and donations will make you more. And donations, some people have different opinions on donations, but donations are
A lot of money.
A lot of money, and it's something that I haven't quite gotten a grasp of, like understanding, like why certain
If
people
you're
make a
a-
ton and certain people
If you're a
don't.
girl, you'll probably get a lot more donations. I'll say
Okay,
that
I mean,
right
okay, I mean that's all right. That's one probable fact there, but there are some other folks that get a lot, like Maximus. Maximus
Yeah,
gets a
he gets a lot of
shitload of donations, and
I don't
Yeah.
see. That's what I'm not happy about. Like I got Grandmaster on 3 different accounts this morning. I remember when last season Maximus Black got like Grandmaster in like the final month of the season or something, barely got it, and someone was like $2,000. There you go, congratulations, good job, you got it. But I mean, that's the thing he worked towards. He built up
yeah,
that
I mean that was a
fan base.
storyline that was built like for over a year, so that's a little different. But he does get quite a few. Steven doesn't really talk
So I
about
think-
donations very much.
So like
but-
this is okay. So boring business stuff. Okay, here we go. So I think that the most important thing that you can do if you exist in this industry is to build multiple revenue streams, right? You don't want all of your streams to funnel into one thing that you're completely reliant on, right? Because anytime you've got a bottleneck like that, you create a huge liability for yourself. Or like if that stream gets cut off for whatever reason, you're completely fucked, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the problem, and I'm not gonna tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. But a lot of people's problems is that all of their income might just be tied into Twitch, right? And technically, there's nothing wrong with it. Like Twitch is really reliable. I haven't had any like the worst problems I've ever had with Twitch in regards to payment is I might get paid like 1 or 2 days like late, barely.
1 or 2 days.
But like for the most part, I think Twitch is pretty reliable. I don't see them like dying or not paying anybody anytime soon. But a lot of people will only rely on like one revenue stream, and then that's all they'll ever build, and they'll never try to like expand outwards and get more stuff. So like if you're on a team, you'll only get your salary or maybe just your salary and like streaming revenue, and then that's it. You know. For like me personally, I think that so like I have like my personal affiliate sponsored deals, right, with Ting and the Dollar Shave Club. I've got my website that has an embed on it, right, and on my website I run the Google AdSense stuff, which helps. I've got the computer stuff that I do, right, so I build computers on the side using my audience, which is money for me. And then I also have like my own computer build and my keyboard stuff that people link down like at the streams. All of that is linked with my Amazon affiliate link, which is a different revenue stream. And then I've got my subscription system, right, which is independent of Twitch, which is another revenue stream, right? So the idea is at the end of the day, it's nice to be able to look at like a whole bunch of different streams of revenue that you can work on building that don't all necessarily revolve just around like, I need to stream more like on this day, or I need to do this, or like if I lose this, I'm completely fucked out of everything, you know? That building of like different revenue streams, I think is really important that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to, in my opinion, you know?
TLDR, get your own website.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
put
but
everything
it has to be
on
a
it,
website.
basically.
It has to be good. You got to give people incentive to look at the website over that, right? Like that's why I have my own chat system and all of my other little shit built into it, because there's got to be reasons for people to want to look at it, you know?
Yeah.
I actually went onto your stream the other day, Steven, and then I typed in the Twitch chat and I said Destiny, and then there was like a little message that popped up, join us on destiny.gg or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So then I had to click this site, and it's cool. And then you could log in with all the things. I just think
Well,
I mean, speaking from the pro side, like we are fucking horrible at this because we spend 8-10 hours.
Yeah, all of the time, exactly. Yeah, which is really hard if you're a competitor.
Yeah, but
That's kind of like what you said earlier, Chairman. Like, do you have the time to do this? To be honest, like this is like managing the stream stuff is almost a full-time job. And like it would be really hard for me to imagine. Like, can any pro stream a lot with a good schedule and interact with their viewers and still be a pro gamer?
Well,
yeah,
I think
I don't
that's
think so.
well, no. Well,
Well,
shouldn't
I think it's possible. I think it's possible to stream a lot and build a schedule and do it, but to do like all of the extra stuff on the side, you have
Yeah.
to get like really good management that'll help you with that.
yeah, shouldn't
Or-
your management team be helping you with that?
Yeah, but
Who,
management
me?
teams have historically.
Yeah, you.
Manage-
No, fuck no. Are you kidding me? No. There's no EG player that like they'll run like your Facebook fan page.
But that's what I'm
they'll-
saying. Like, shouldn't they be helping you with that? I mean,
I'm speaking this like EG is the most professional team as far as competitive play out there, and they are nowhere near helping any player with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
If you're talking about multiple things, unless like because if they see you can make money off of something, they're going to be doing it for themselves instead of you in the first place. They're not going to be like, here, let us do all this free work for you and you can reap the benefits. If anything, they would say, okay, that sounds pretty good. We might do that for you. How are we splitting this?
yeah, I
Kind of
mean, it's a different model there because they're paying you a salary too.
yeah.
And if they were just making off of the money, just making a percentage off the money that you're making, then it'd probably be a lot different, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's all I'm saying is like in general, I think with players, the management team should be helping them with that sort of thing because
I mean, ideally,
you don't have
but
time to do
let's
it.
be real now. Let's be real now.
All right.
No team, only 2 teams in the history of StarCraft 2 have ever even come remotely close to being acceptable in the way that they manage the PR on their team, and that's Liquid and EG. And Liquid only because they already on the website, and EG
but-
only really in like 2011 and 2012. They haven't really done too much as of recently. But those have been the only teams that have really successfully leveraged their teams in regards to PR and marketing and trying to open up other revenue streams. Although even that, but they've both done that pretty badly in my opinion.
But that's
Sorry.
all
Go ahead.
EG's revenue streams. We're not talking about the players' You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
but I mean,
it's
well,
all it has
well,
been
like,
about the team brand.
I'm being realistic here. I'm being realistic. There's 0% chance that a team is going to invest time into helping their members investigate other ways of making money if they're not even investigating it themselves, you know? So like in
Yeah.
a perfect world, if you're being paid a salary, like let's be real, you are sacrificing a lot to be on a team, but you get a salary for it, right? There's a reason why they pay you. But imagine if like EG had an EG portal set up, right, where you could watch all the EG streams or whatever, and on each of those websites there were the Amazon affiliate links, plus the plus like an advertisement module, like a little header or whatever, like for Google AdSense, and then they like the embed of like each of the individual streams there, and maybe like merchandise that they sell that's like got their name on it. I don't know, like whatever, because EG used to sell shirts for like Idra and shit. It would be really easy if EG had that system in place to cut in the players on like a small percentage of that. Whether or not they had an incentive to do it, I mean, I don't know if they actually would or wouldn't, because like I said, I haven't ever seen a team go that route to actually really honestly try to market themselves. No team in StarCraft 2 has done it, except for EG in like 2012 when they were like really big in the Kingston commercials and all of that. So, but I mean, that kind of stuff would be interesting, you know, I think.
I mean, let's
concur.
I mean, like from a standpoint of contract models, I think the most standard one is probably the team pays pays you guys X amount a month, and there's some kind of requirement on your side of things, more so than their side of things. I would think.
Sure.
Is there a model, Huck, where you take a lot less salary and they do help you build your own brand versus the team brand? Because it's kind of muddled, like right now with the StarCraft 2 teams, because there is like this team side of it, but they're also your management team too. And if it was more of an individual thing, like you had your own like manager right now, management company, and you were your own brand, they would obviously be building your brand, and helping you grow their channel. It's kind of a weird
the
thing.
way that they pitch it from EG is that they're they'll cohesively build both. So if they're managing your fan club or they're doing whatever, they'll help you do that. But as far as like setting up the stuff we've been talking about with Stream or the things Destiny does with his own personal site, they haven't even approached that side of things. I don't think so. I don't think that there's those kind of deals, and that's I've been on EG, I've had good contracts. The most that would be happening is you give them some percentage of your prize money, they'll give you more salary or less salary. If you take a smaller cut on merchandise, then they'll pay you more or less. But the thing is like from my perspective, when I was negotiating these things, because I had similar offers of Idra and Jeff or whoever, is if you're taking a bigger cut for merchandising, you're basically giving them the option not to advertise it as much. So let's say I'm Idra, I take 90% of merchandising, and they pitch the idea to me that it's going to be a lot of money and I'm going to be making a lot of money from merchandising, so I don't need as much salary. But then at the same aspect, I'm not going to be counting on them to advertise for a 10% cut of what I'm getting or what they're getting from the 100% when I'm getting 90. So then as a player, what are you supposed to like all of a sudden become this great advertising market person that can you can tweet and you can put it on your Facebook and you can have a small thing on your stream, but it's never going to be the same thing as like a Kingston commercial where if EG's motivated to market something, they're going to really go ham. So I don't think esports as a whole, being on EG, a top team, esports as a whole is at that level yet where they're willing to build personal player brands separate from the team, especially when contracts like
they could lose you. They could lose you
exactly.
at the end of the year, right? Yeah.
And
I mean, I understand the logic behind it. It's just I don't think that you can.
I think you could remedy some of those problems based on how you negotiate the percentages. Maybe with like EG, maybe instead it would be like a 40-60 split, where 40 goes to the player or 60 goes to the player, and then the rest goes to EG. So that way they still have some incentive to front page you on their page to promote your stuff, but then you have an incentive too. I don't know, like, so I have a really negative opinion of most teams, because it seems to me what every team does is the idea of the team is to find a player who's at like the peak of their popularity, and then you poach them, and then you never invest into growing that player's brand at all. I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life, I don't think I've ever seen any team in StarCraft 2 acquire a player and then work with that player on increasing their popularity. The only maybe possible example that I could ever think of that would fit that would be In Control, but I think that he's done most of that on his own merit and not because he was carried by EG, you know? Do either of you disagree with that? Do either of you have an example or can think of a time where EG purchased a player, or I'm sorry, wow, I'm sorry,
Purchased
not
a
EG.
player.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Well, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't mean to make that EG specific, but where a team has purchased a player and then actually helped them grow their brand or image, or even just made them more popular for the sake of their own team. Like I don't think I've ever heard of.
For the sake of their own
I,
team.
I just
mean,
think it's a bad
we-
investment with how short contracts are. Why would you go to that length of building up a player from a team's perspective if they could leave at any time?
No, I mean I think it is, but
Cass is
again,
in
like
chat,
I
he's
think
mad
it.
as fuck.
I think it is smart for them, like with the current model of this StarCraft 2 team model. I think it is smart. I mean, I think it is. I remember talking to Alex like a long time ago about making fan apps for you guys, like all the EG players, for free. I was gonna do that for a while, you know, just back like 2 years ago.
Why didn't you do it?
Because Alex, and then because when I was talking to Alex wanted just an EG only, like he only wanted an EG
Yeah.
app.
And then he would
And-
pitch that to us as being a cohesive team/player thing.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
There's no, they're not willing to. It's it's like it's not a cohesive thing. It's like us versus them. We're selling ourselves to get a salary, and then that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the end of the thing.
yeah,
I feel like there could be a much greater, and I mean, I'm just talking shit because I mean, I've never managed a team before, but just from the little bit that I've learned about advertising in my, few years of existence in this area of the internet, I feel like there could be a much greater collaborative process that goes on between players and teams that would ultimately benefit both parties more in the long term. Obviously, in the short term, poaching a player, capitalizing on their popularity, and then not investing at all on them, and then letting them do whatever, and then just fucking off and forgetting about it, is more lucrative in the short term because it requires a lot less work and know-how. But I feel like a collaboration between players and the teams would benefit both parties a lot more and lead to a lot more stable long-term, sustenance of both. In my opinion, but I mean, I've never actually seen it happen before, so I guess it's hard to say. Except for maybe like in the academy situations, we've got like the Complexity Academy or the Root Seed Academy and whatnot.
There you
Well,
go,
well,
cats. Shut up.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of the big issues is too is that the teams are bigger than the players for the most part.
Yeah.
There are some instances where the player is just so big, and them joining the team is actually huge for the team.
Well,
but
I think
it's-
the problem is just I don't think it has to do. I mean, you could argue about the dynamics of being unable to negotiate. Having a lack of negotiating power between the individuals and the necessity for a players' union. You can argue about all of that shit and get into the finer points of that. But to be completely honest, I think that the main reason is just because most people that manage teams don't actually know enough to like capitalize well on the images of everybody. Like, and here's
Well-
some things I'll say. Like, how many fucking times have people asked for like a Team Liquid or an EG like affordable fucking like jacket or whatever, like something that everybody can buy and wear? Like, I don't know, like I feel like merchandising was never handled well. I feel like setting up stream pages was never managed well. Like there's no reason to ever, especially if you're on a pro
it's-
team, nobody should ever be watching your stream on Twitch.tv ever. You should always have a professional website, with portals to all of the products that you offer and whatnot. Like I don't know, I feel like when I see that things like even really basic things like that have never been managed well, I feel like most of the people in charge of the teams just never had any interest in spreading out and marketing their players, anymore.
I just think that we've always given a lot of credit to EG for being a good, actually out of all the teams,
Being a decent
being decent or just relatively good at helping manage you guys and do a lot of that
EG
stuff.
would be like
But
me
the thing-
showing up to a weightlifting contest with a bunch of Ethiopian kids. Like, I'm not really like ripped as fuck, but I could probably lift more than all of them. So like I look really good in comparison. But yeah, okay. So
But my point is that if you look at other, I have to bring up another sport analogy, but if you look at like LeBron James, for instance, right? Miami Heat does not manage him. Like they don't do them, they don't do all the management side of the stuff for LeBron James. He's just part of the, he joins that team under contract, but he has his own management team that builds his brands, that gets him certain endorsements that aren't necessarily NBA endorsements. You know what I mean? And
sure.
and you're able to do that. Where I think in esports, I feel like the teams actually you guys in a way. I mean, they.
Well, there's a huge like power struggle right now, especially with EGM coming up, Esports Management Group or EMG, whatever the fuck it's called, and then I
EMG
think
is shit. Fuck EMG. They don't do anything.
It's GEM
Sorry.
now, guys. Not EMG. It's GEM.
whatever this shit, right? And
Whatever
then
they are.
yeah, I mean, I know from experience, whenever I negotiated my contract the last 2 times, Alex was like a big hard on not to not to talk to them and not to get offers from them. And obviously teams want to keep it to be teams, or they want to convert into an agency and then still sign players, and they don't want unions, or they don't want other people interfering with management or stuff like that. It's the normal power struggle that always goes on in real life.
But it's
And
one.
we're-
Go ahead.
I just don't think it's esports is big enough where we can have that kind of LeBron James thing. Like the biggest thing or the easiest thing that I would identify with that is Day 9. Day 9, has his own little people that help him with everything, and then he can sign with Blizzard or Red Bull or whatever to do different events. But
Yeah, one thing that's very important that you have to figure out is that even though it's easy to draw parallels between a lot of like the sports and the esports, between how you manage players, all of those extra things, when you talk about like LeBron James's fucking managers and shit, all of those people exist within his profit margins. And we are talking about people that either make no salary or get like $200 a month. There are no profit margins that those kinds of coaches or managers can exist in, So it makes it a lot harder to get deals like that. And so far in esports, there have been 0 successful companies that have ever tried to do that. EMG is out there, but I mean, that just seems like a buddy group between Artosis, Tumba,
Andrew's
Faceless,
out there too.
The guy,
The
whatever.
CSA
Like,
guys
what do
are
they
out there
do?
too.
Like
I
name
like-
some successful people. Like, how's
And-
SG
Andrew-
doing?
Andrew's pretty good. I would say that. I've heard nothing but good things about Andrew from CSN.
I mean,
But I
what do
don't.
you
I don't think he's making a big profit. I think he's doing it more out of his heart. So I guess it's not.
Wait, what
very
does
visible.
Andrew do?
The
I don't
CSN
agree
guy,
with
he
that,
manages
Chris. I mean, I think he's making some money off of it.
Manages
a
what?
huge amount of money. Like a I can pay the bills. He manages like Violet,
Holt.
Seltzer, Rachel, Holt. So he
Recent-
acts as, like, an
recently-
agent, basically.
Recently, oh gosh, who did they sign recently? They signed someone from EG recently. Anna. They signed Anna recently.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Separate from
Prosser?
EG? I don't
think,
know the
yeah, I'm
contract
pretty sure.
details from that because I don't think Alex would be too happy about that. So
No, it
yeah,
was for.
that's
I mean, it might be for like non-esports stuff because they're doing stuff that are
Even
just getting gigs for
non-esports stuff.
non-esports
Anna works with EG and that, doesn't she?
I don't.
I don't know the details.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. But either way, I would say Andrew has been successful. I don't know how much money he's making. I know he makes money from it. I'm not saying he's doing it for free, but I don't think he's, this isn't LeBron James level where
Oh,
he's.
come on. I mean, nothing is LeBron James level. Okay.
I'm saying
It's 'cause-
in comparison, I don't think he's like, making $40, $50, $60,000 a year managing these people.
So with EG, I guess one thing is to really clarify it. Does EG have like Team EG separate from EG the agency?
Well, EG the agency, as far as I know, I can't remember where I read it. It was like in a LOL post or something when they fucked over some other LOL team, SK or something. I don't know. But it was like Alex made a statement where he was labeled as CEO of EG and EG agency. So I guess within the next year they're going to be going more with that approach, which I think makes sense in the way esports is being handled. But yeah. I don't remember your question.
I was just wondering if there was actually a delineation between EG the team and EG the agency because
Well, I guess there is as much as there is between EG and Alliance. I mean, it's kind of just.
okay.
I mean, there
I mean,
is, but
that's-
there really isn't.
Okay,
It's
so there
part of
really
the-
isn't. I mean,
Yeah.
if the the team isn't really split up like that, I guess so there's not really that much of it. All right. So, anyways, that's interesting. Definitely, I don't know how we got on the topic of all that.
Someone wrote in channel, "Good gaming agency owns EG and Alliance."
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
But that's not the same. I mean, it's okay. That I guess
I
that
don't
officially
know.
is an agency.
It's
but-
getting into this like weird corporate thing where
Yeah.
they're sending money to the Bahamas and no one knows how
What?
they're evading taxes.
Oh
and all this
god! All
weird-
right, we don't have to get into
this.
any of that stuff. But anyways, kind of I guess circling back, it's just the players right now. I think it seems to be still true that most of the income or most of the revenue is coming from the salaries, which are even worse than they were before. And I guess building up their channels is a smart thing for all you players out there. And it's not, and just empirical data shows that I'm telling you, subscribers and donations are going to be probably definitely more than your ad revenue, and maybe even more than your salary. Honestly,
Yep, I agree. Ad revenue like 2 years ago, I streamed like one day in December. I streamed a lot. It was like 10 hours or something. But just ad revenue, I made like 1.2K. Insane. But
Yeah,
nowadays,
that's crazy.
I like if I made 1.2K.
Wait, when was this? What year was this? 2011.
2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 2011 ad revenue was
Really good.
It was insane. Yeah, easily 3 times what it is now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, why don't we take another quick break and we'll go straight into Q&A. Yeah, so get your questions ready. Upvote the ones you want to hear on the Reddit thread, and we'll read them off. We'll be back.
Apparently, Lucifron retired.
Really?